Hi guys, I'm just going to do a wee quick tutorial here on how to vignette an image. Vignetting was a technique that was used years ago with older photographers or more traditional photographers to sort of bleach out the edges of images. So I'm just going to open up an image and I'm going to go here for African Lion 2012. So I'm clicking on that and I'm going to click the open button and you'll see that this appears. Now, basically what a vignette is we're going to make a selection using the elliptical marquee tool. It always works out better if it's a nice sort of soft blonde edge. And whenever I select the elliptical marquee tool, I'm going to make a selection from top left to bottom right of the image, and I'm not going off the image. Now, there will be some software conflict here on this particular machine, and unfortunately it flashes, but do bear with me. Now, at this point in time, if I was to do edit and cut, what happens is the center of the image gets cut away and you have this very harsh edge. We're going to change this slightly. We're going to soften the edge, but we're also going to inverse the selection so that the outside is cut away whilst the inside remains. And we're going to change the background color from black to white so that whenever we actually do cut away our selection, that we're left with a nice sort of white background or page for it to fall onto. So if you were to consider this as a mistake, we're just going to do edit and step backward, and that'll bring back the center of the image and the selection. The first thing that we need to do is actually soften the edge. So to do that, we're going to go to the select menu, down to modify, and click on feather. In older versions of the Photoshop software, it's just select and feather. Now, personally, I know this particular image is very small, so the resolution on that is also going to be very small. So 150 pixels is going to be far too much of a feathering, so I'm going to take that down to 30 pixels and hit my OK button. Now, don't know how well you've seen that, but the selection moved just fractionally, which is okay. The next thing then is to inverse it. So we're going to go to select and inverse, and whenever we press inverse, you'll see two sets of marching ants, and effectively that's the bit that's going to be cut away. And at the minute, if I cut away, I'm going to end up with a black background. So let's see how that looks first of all. So edit and cut. And you'll see there that the edges, they're pretty cut away. The original selection could have maybe been a bit smaller actually in the image, which is fine. But if I decide at this point that I want a white background rather than the black background, we can click on the black background, we can ask for white, and we can hit the OK button. And we can just do a wee quick step back. This doesn't change the color, it changes what we last did on the page, which is bring back the bit that we cut away. So the next time that we cut away, we will be left with the background color rather than the black. Okay, so that's one variation of the vignette where you can fade the edges to white. Another variation is instead of cutting away the selection, we can go into the image menu, down to adjustments and levels, and we can just grab either the darkness or the shadow slider or the midtone slider and just take that down to the right, and you'll see the edges darken down. Now this is quite good in one respect because it leads the viewer's gaze into the center of the image, and you can see as I do preview and on preview that, let's just do that for a second, that you'll see the edges darken down. It's very, very subtle, but it's maybe just enough to direct your viewer's gaze to the subject in the center of the image where you want them to look. And if you like that, you can say OK, and you can then deselect your selection by going to the select menu and deselect, and then you wouldn't do file and save. You would do file and save as, and save it out as a second copy so that your original is always intact. Thanks guys.